Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. One punch. One punch is all it can take. And we saw that from Deontay Wilder tonight. One punch knockout victory over Luis Ortiz. Captures or reclaims his title defense and in the seventh round. And it was a very mature performance for Wilder as we've seen him be a little reckless in the ring. Obviously in this rematch, a fight that was very, very dangerous. The first time they fought, he was nearly stopped by Luis Ortiz until he came back and ultimately got the stoppage. But, I mean, my goodness, one punch, and you start to think about all the legendary heavyweights we've seen in the history of boxing, and Deontay Wilder is right there as not just one of the great knockout artists of all time, because his numbers say he's the greatest from a percentage standpoint, but he is one of the best heavyweights of all time. And it's time to put some proper respect on his name, especially the performances we've gotten from him over the last few years. And I know the Tyson Fury fight is now looming. And then, obviously we're going to have to see what happens with Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua as well. And I'm glad, because it's the buzz in the heavyweight division is the best it's been probably in my personal adulthood. But seeing Deontay Wilder work, in the fact that it's not just a thing where his power is in the first couple rounds and then it kind of wanes. And we've seen him have these seventh round knockouts, these 10th round knockouts, 11th round knockouts. And it's impressive to watch one of the greatest athletes we've seen in the heavyweight division. I mean, Luis Ortiz, who's 31-2, his only two losses are two knockouts at the hands of Deontay Wilder. And look, Luis Ortiz came in, I thought, with an outstanding game plan. We know his abilities as a counterpuncher, and he's heavy-handed. King Kong is a good name for him, right? And he was, even though he's 40 years old, he came in excellent shape, physically imposing. And you could tell Wilder had a lot of respect for his power, the power that he felt in that first fight. And it was a proceed with caution for Deontay Wilder. And personally, as somebody who is becoming a fan of the fighter and even some of the boxing that Wilder is starting to implement into his game, I was very worried about him taking this fight. I didn't see why he needed to have a rematch with Ortiz, especially against a guy where he narrowly escaped, if you will. But hey, here we are. We're going to have the rematch. I'm was more so excited about the Tyson Fury, but rematch is here. And Deontay Wilder, the patience and the maturity of trying to set that trap for Luis Ortiz. And he talked about after the fight of trying to measure, right? Finding that distance, finding that kind of gauging that distance. He's kind of throwing out that left hand, trying to see where he's at. We also saw Wilder actually utilize a jab at points in this fight. Now, with all that being said, Luis Ortiz was winning this fight. And if you look at the judges' scorecards after the fight, I believe he was up 59-55 on two cards and then 58-56 on the other judges' card, which I thought was either one of those scores was appropriate. I personally had it more 59-55. Just the activity that Ortiz had, the productive activity, wasn't a whole bunch of punches landed by either fighter each of the rounds, but the effective shots that were landed, there were some beautiful left hands that were landed by Ortiz throughout the fight. I thought he did a good job of mixing it up, being aggressive, utilizing the ropes. He blocked some shots. His glove work was very, very good. And overall just had a good bounce. You could tell his preparation. And you can see the frustration with Ortiz after the fight. He put everything into defeating this opponent, Deontay Wilder. But when you're facing one of the greats, and as great as Ortiz is, because he's also a very, very good fighter. But when you're facing one of the all-time greats, there's levels to this. And Deontay Wilder showed us tonight there's levels to this. when you come in and you're able to knock out one of the best fighters in the world with one punch off of, and here's the thing we underestimate with Wilder, because we all talk about the oh my God power and his ability to just blow you away with how towering he is, his physique. He's an Adonis type figure, but we don't give him enough credit. And he talked about this too, boxing IQ, his timing, his ability to be patient. These are things that he's developing and learning, and his patience tonight won him this fight. Being able to wait to the 7th round, not getting out of control, knowing exactly what he wanted and where he wanted it. Because once he got Ortiz in position, he didn't miss. And one of the things I learned from Wilder tonight, that not learned, but just reinforced my belief, is he's a guy that's going to measure twice and cut once. And once he found out, once he used that gauge and that measurement, measure twice, cut once. One punch, good night. And once Ortiz was on the ground, I mean, the brother's face when he was on the ground, that's going to be a meme, a meme in itself. But, just an outstanding job of getting him in that position by Wilder and delivering the blow of execution. So where do we go from here? Obviously, we got to see what happens with Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury, though, now has to see this and say, I really, this guy's maturing, even, and understanding that patience can be beneficial to him, right? And the power's still there. The athleticism is still there by Wilder. Because Fury fought one of the best fights we've ever seen against Wilder, obviously getting the draw, and still almost died. So, like I said, Deontay Wilder up there with the greats. I mean, you can have the debate about, a lot of the debate this week amongst fight fans was talking about Mike Tyson, who was ringside with the black Santa Claus beard, which I love, and obviously conversations like George Foreman, when we talk about who are the all-time great knockout artists from the heavyweight division. But Deontay Wilder, no matter who you throw out there, he is in that group. Period. All right. So very, very impressive performance. I understand the frustration of Luis Ortiz. It sucks to get mollywopped in front of your family and your children. Hopefully, they won't be scarred by the images of seeing their father and their husband, get leveled like that. So never want to see that, but this is the sport they signed up for. And, he'll, it's tough, but I think he even will have the hard realization, that there's levels to this. And that's one of the reoccurring themes from tonight. But shout out to Deontay Wilder, another title defense. Party continues. Tyson Fury up next. Tyson Fury, you're getting a more mature, possibly scarier version of Deontay Wilder, measuring twice and cutting once. So guys, love to hear everybody's thoughts in the comments. Subscribe, like, trying to grow this channel, trying to grow this platform. Y'all know I'm a huge fight fan. Had a blast tonight. Be back later. Peace.